I know this video might irritate certain people that watch my content, and hey, that's alright, because sometimes understanding where things are coming from can help you understand what a lot of insiders are truly trying to say. For the last couple of months, the gaming news has been flooded with news about the new Xbox console and the new PlayStation 5 coming out later this year. We've had comparisons, tech, show, demos, and announcements. It's been an extremely crazy time as a gamer, because we're all excited about these consoles and which one should we invest in? Well, from what we've seen and what experts across the industry are saying, it would seem that the Xbox Series X is simply better on the GPU side. And maybe, just maybe, the SSD that Sony is touting so much might be a non-factor. At least that's what Digital Foundry content producer Alexander Battaglia has to say when he talks about the difference between the two systems. In this article, he talks about the PlayStation 5's SSD and the difference it doesn't have on creating gaming worlds. But he also makes it a point to talk about the Xbox Series X's GPU and how much better it is. I want to talk about this because it brings up a lot of very solid points. So let's dive into this article and see just how much better the next-gen Xbox truly is. But before we do that, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so let's start this off by saying that the SSD that's attached to the PS5 is something special. It's one of the only things that the console has an advantage over on the Xbox Series X. Actually, to be frank, it's probably the only thing that a lot of people that love PlayStation are holding on to. That's including Sony. So it's very weird when tech experts come out and discuss how the SSD isn't going to change the development of open world games dramatically, like Mark Cerny says in his presentation. To not mix anything up, let's see what the article says here directly. The PlayStation 5 SSD is among the console's most exciting features, but it will not change open world games dramatically, at least by itself. In a recent post on the Reset Era forums, Digital Foundry content producer Alexander Battaglia commented on the console's SSD, highlighting how open world games will not allow different looking open world games, as the data pulled from the SSD would be static data, and open world games increase details and variety through procedural methods. The article points out the impressive SSD on the PS5, but does have a little bit of an asterisk next to it. Instead of listening to what Sony has to say, it seems that people from Digital Foundry try to dig a little bit deeper into the actual architecture of the new systems. They directly try to discuss what the difference between the Xbox Series X and the PS5 will be, and ask the question if there's actually going to be a difference for the game developers, which, if you've been paying attention, might actually not be that big of a difference. Here's what Alexander Battaglia had to say. I typed this elsewhere, but people saying things about the SSD enabling entirely different looking open world games does not make much sense based upon what we know about open world development really. All data pulled from SSD would be static data, completely unmutable. That would mean perfectly pre-designed level data and arrangements, which is the exact opposite methodology of how modern open world games increase their detail and variety, which is in fact through procedural method not living on the disk. Procedural methods exist to increase the efficiency of artists and diversity of the game world, and even increase detail beyond static draws. Now, this does throw a wrench into the cog of the people touting all of the SSD power and how it will set the Xbox Series X behind in power or whatever narrative they're trying to push, when in reality it's not going to be something that's a huge difference between the consoles. And that might scare a lot of people that want Sony to have the power narrative, because this single piece of the console is the only thing that PlayStation 5 has the edge over Xbox. But with the methodology being different and the developers trying to put more detail into their games, this might actually backfire on Sony, because most developers still have to develop for PC and the Xbox Series X. So creating entire worlds for a single method of the PlayStation 5 just doesn't sound logical. That's just for third-party developers. As for the first-party developers in Sony, that might actually help them make games differently, but I don't think that will be the case either, because it's looking like most Sony first-party games are making the transition to the PC platform. So in reality, we are back to where we ended up, which is the GPU side of the console and the power along with the rest of the console. And that's exactly what the article talks about when it says that the Xbox Series X is simply just better. Here's what's said. On a related note, Alexander Battaglia also commented on the Xbox Series X GPU, highlighting how it's simply better than the PlayStation 5's. This won't happen unless the Xbox Series X is targeting unobtainably higher settings and resolution, or a developer messed up. Xbox Series X GPU is just better, full stop. Just like this gen, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. If a game is performing worse on the Xbox One X, I think a developer has all the wrong priorities or some software problem they need to work around. Also, I just want to shut down any discussion of brute forcing. Regarding any hardware, sometimes things are just better, like the RTX 2080 is better than the 2060s. Well, talk about not beating around the bush. This shows that the Xbox Series X will be the best performing console with the most powerful GPU. This person who's a tech expert and gets paid to talk about this type of things is saying that if a game is running worse on the Series X, it's on the developer. He doesn't word things for any type of movement or it can be constrained differently. Instead, he shouts from the rooftop saying that the Xbox Series X is just a better console on the GPU side, which affects games more. So while games might load faster on the PS5 and you'll get to the game a couple seconds earlier, the game will perform and look much better on the Series X. That to many people means a lot more to a game experience. Now don't get me wrong, the PS5 is a great piece of tech and it's going to produce some amazing games. But the reality of the situation is that the Xbox Series X is simply better and there's no way around it. If you want the best looking games with the best performance, then you have to get an Xbox console or a PC. That's it folks, pick your poison. But enough about what I think about all this, tell me what you think about all of this. Do you believe what this tech expert has to say? Did Sony invest too much into the SSD technology? Would you prefer better load times or better looking games? Is Xbox's new console more well-rounded? Is the brute forcing talk just damage control? Which console are you buying day one? Go down below and let me know, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Lately, I've been playing a little bit of Sea of Thieves. I got all the achievements for the new content they brought out, and I've been playing Doom Eternal, which is insane. You should check it out. That's all for now. Thanks for talking, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.